first message appeared on the screen at 2:17 in the morning. Ryan Mitchell hadn't meant to find it. He was just trying to restore some photos from an old cloud backup after his phone crashed. Nothing dramatic, just a boring Sunday night problem that kept him awake. But when the backup finished restoring, a folder appeared that Ryan had never seen before. Deleted messages. At first, he almost ignored it. Then he opened it, and within 10 seconds, Ryan realized something was very, very wrong. Because the messages weren't random spam or old group chat. They were conversations between his wife and a private investigator. And they weren't recent. They went back 8 months. Ryan stared at the screen, his heart pounding in his ears. The first message he read made his stomach drop. Find anything yet? I need proof he's cheating before I file. Ryan blinked. His name was mentioned in the next message. He leaves the house every morning at 7:10. Usually returns around 6. No obvious meetings with women yet. Ryan leaned back slowly in his chair. His wife, Claire, was asleep upstairs, and apparently she had hired someone to investigate him for a divorce. But Ryan knew something that made this situation even more disturbing. He had never cheated. Not once. Not even close. And that realization made the next question even more terrifying. If Claire knew he was innocent, then why was she trying so hard to prove he wasn't? Ryan and Claire had been married for 9 years. They lived in a quiet neighborhood outside Portland, Oregon, the kind of place where neighbors waved at each other while mowing lawns. Ryan worked as an IT manager for a logistics company downtown. Claire worked remotely in marketing. Their life looked normal from the outside. Weekend grocery runs, Netflix nights, occasional arguments about whose turn it was to clean the kitchen. Nothing that screamed marriage falling apart. Sure, things had felt distant lately. Claire had become more private with her phone, more irritated by small things, but Ryan assumed it was just stress. Now he sat in the glow of his laptop screen, realizing something much darker had been happening behind his back. He started scrolling. The messages were detailed. Claire had been reporting on his daily routine, his gym schedule, his work trip, even his lunch breaks. The investigator responded with update. No signs of infidelity. No suspicious meetings. Still monitoring. Ryan kept reading. And then another message made his chest tighten. We may need another strategy, Claire wrote. If he's not cheating, we need something else. Financial misconduct, maybe. Ryan's jaw clenched. Financial misconduct? He handled the household finances carefully. Mortgage paid. Savings steady. No hidden account. But Claire kept pushing. What about hidden debt? Anything illegal at work? Dig deeper. Ryan rubbed his temple. This wasn't just curiosity. This was a plan. A calculated attempt to destroy him in court. But what he read next made the situation even worse. The investigator finally asked the question Ryan himself was thinking. Just to confirm, are you certain you want to proceed even if we don't find wrongdoing? Claire's reply came 3 minutes later. Yes, I want the divorce to go in my favor. Ryan stared at those words for a long time. His wife wasn't just preparing to leave him. She was trying to bury him first. Ryan barely slept that night. By morning, his mind had moved past shock and into something colder. Strategy, because Ryan worked in IT, and he understood something most people didn't think about. Digital trails never really disappear. Claire had deleted those messages from her phone, but the cloud backup restored everything, which meant there might be more. A lot more. So Ryan started digging. He downloaded the entire message archive, emails, cloud storage, even shared calendar data. Within a few hours, a clearer picture began to form. Claire hadn't just hired the investigator. She had also spoken with the divorce lawyer. Multiple times, Ryan found emails scheduling consultations. One message stood out immediately. Goal: establish infidelity or financial wrongdoing to strengthen settlement. Ryan let out a slow breath. Claire wasn't just planning to leave. She was planning to take everything: the house, the savings, possibly even alimony, and she needed him to look guilty to make it happen. Ryan felt anger rising in his chest. But then something strange happened. The anger faded, and an idea began forming. Because if Claire wanted to build a case against him, maybe he could build a much stronger case against her. Ryan spent the next week pretending everything was normal. He made breakfast like usual, asked Claire about her work, watched TV together in the evening, and Claire acted like nothing was wrong. She smiled. She laughed. She even kissed him goodbye before leaving the house. But Ryan noticed something new. Her phone was never far from her hand, and twice during the week, she stepped outside to take quiet phone calls. Ryan didn't confront her. Instead, he started documenting everything: screenshots, backups, copies of emails. He even contacted a lawyer of his own, a quiet, sharp woman named Lisa Parker. Ryan showed her the messages during their first meeting. Lisa read them slowly. Then she looked up with a small smile. "This changes everything." Ryan leaned forward. "How?" Lisa folded her hands. "Because this looks like premeditated character assassination." Ryan raised an eyebrow. Lisa explained calmly. "If she's trying to fabricate wrongdoing to gain advantage in divorce court, that can backfire badly." Ryan felt something he hadn't felt all week: hope. But Lisa had another idea. "One more thing," she said. "If she hired a private investigator, we might want to talk to him." Ryan frowned. "Why would he help me?" Lisa smiled slightly. "Because investigators like protecting their professional reputation. And if he realizes he's being used to create false allegations, he may not be happy about it." 2 days later, Ryan met the investigator. His name was Daniel Reed, a tall man in his 50s with calm eyes and a tired expression. Ryan expected hostility. Instead, Daniel sighed the moment he saw the printed messages. "I was wondering when this would come out." Ryan blinked. "You knew?" Daniel shook his head slowly. "I knew something didn't feel right." He leaned back in his chair. "Your wife kept pushing for evidence that didn't exist." Ryan asked quietly. "Did you ever find anything?" Daniel shook his head again. "Nothing. You're the most boring surveillance subject I've had in years." Ryan almost laughed. Then Daniel added something unexpected. "But she kept asking me to dig deeper. Look for something, anything." Ryan's lawyer leaned forward. "Would you be willing to testify about that?" Daniel thought for a moment, then nodded. "Yes." And just like that, Claire's secret plan began collapsing. But Ryan wasn't finished, because while reviewing the messages again later that night, he noticed something he had missed before. One conversation didn't involve the investigator. It involved another man. The contact name was saved as Tom Consulting. Ryan opened the thread. His pulse quickened. The messages were short, but the tone was different, personal, familiar. One message read, "Soon, once the divorce is done." Another message from Tom said, "Worth the wait. We'll finally be able to stop hiding." Ryan stared at the screen in silence. Claire hadn't been trying to prove he was cheating. She had been projecting, because she was the one having the affair. And suddenly everything made sense. The distance, the secrecy, the desperation to win the divorce. She wasn't just leaving him. She was clearing the path for someone else. Ryan closed the laptop slowly. For the first time since discovering the messages, he smiled. Because now the truth was complete. And when the truth came out, it wouldn't just ruin Claire's plan. It would destroy it. 3 weeks later, Claire finally made her move. Ryan came home from work and found her sitting at the kitchen table. Papers spread in front of her. Her expression was serious. "We need to talk," she said. Ryan sat down quietly. Claire slid the papers across the table. "Divorce documents. I think it's time we both move on," she said. Ryan nodded slowly. He acted surprised, confused. "Where is this coming from?" Claire sighed dramatically. I know you've been hiding things, Ryan. Ryan kept his voice calm. Hiding what? Claire looked him directly in the eyes. I know you've been unfaithful. Ryan almost admired the confidence. Almost. He leaned back slightly. Do you have proof? Claire hesitated, just for a second. Then she said something that made Ryan realize she had no idea how badly this would go for her. My investigator has been watching you. Ryan nodded. Right. He pulled a folder from his bag and placed it on the table. Claire frowned. What's that? Ryan opened the folder. Printed messages, email records, screenshot. The color drained from Claire's face as she recognized the conversations. Her conversations with the investigator. Ryan spoke calmly. I restored a cloud backup. Claire's hands began to shake. Ryan continued. And I also spoke to Daniel Reeves. Claire looked up quickly. He can't. He already did, Ryan said. Silence filled the room. Then Ryan placed another sheet on the table. The messages with Tom. Claire's breathing became uneven. You hired someone to frame me, Ryan said quietly. You pushed for false accusations. Claire tried to speak, but Ryan wasn't finished. And while you were doing that, you were having an affair. Claire's face collapsed. Ryan watched the realization spread across her expression. Her plan was gone, every piece of it. And then Ryan said the one thing she definitely didn't expect. I'm not angry. Claire looked up slowly. Ryan stood from the table. I'm grateful. Claire stared at him in confusion. Ryan picked up the folder. Because now the truth is documented. He walked toward the door. And the court will see exactly who tried to destroy who. Claire's voice finally broke. Ryan, wait. But Ryan didn't stop. Because sometimes revenge isn't yelling. Sometimes revenge is simply letting the truth speak. And when the divorce hearing finally happened months later, the truth spoke very loudly. Claire didn't get the house. She didn't get the savings. And the judge had very strong opinions about false allegations and manipulation. But the final twist came afterward. Because once everything was over, Ryan learned something surprising. Tom didn't stay with Claire. The moment the divorce turned ugly and the money disappeared, Tom disappeared too. And the woman who tried so hard to destroy her husband's life ended up losing everything instead.